Oklahoma Senator James Lankford. Good morning, Senator. So those are some cloudy, gray skies above the Capitol. It feels that way in the Capitol right now. Seems like SNAP food stamp recipients preparing for the possibility of not getting benefits in 2 days. We know military personnel going to start missing paychecks. When do you think Democrats are going to come to the table, if ever?
Yeah, they need to come to the table. They're starting to say, well, we're talking about coming to the table. The hard part is we go back a month ago, their demand was $1.5 trillion in new spending on climate change proposals, on new supports for Obamacare. I mean, there was just all kinds of things they've just thrown in. They've never actually made a request since then. It's just that we want to keep the government down unless we get everything that we want. Now there are a few Democrats that are starting to say, well, we're talking about actually making a proposal and bringing it to John Thune. This is what we would actually look for. Thune's been very patient in this process, but is incredibly frustrated, as I am in this process, to say, I know you hate President Trump. You've said that over and over again, but now you're punishing federal workers, you're punishing kids in Head Start, you're cutting off SNAP benefits so they can protest that they don't like President Trump. Well, the American people do. The American people have been very supportive of the president. So let's get the government back open again and actually fall in line with where the American people are.
Yeah, and frustrated is a great word to describe all of this. And as you just alluded to, the Senate Majority Leader, he's frustrated. He expects to start talks with a group of centrist Senate Democrats soon. How confident are you that there are some moderate Democrats left that are willing to separate from the radicals in their party?
Yeah, I think there are. And I think that's a growing group of frustration with their own leadership with Chuck Schumer, that they're upset with Chuck Schumer, that he's just dug in and he won't actually have talks. He won't go over and visit with John Thune. He won't even try because, again, the focus wasn't really to get anything. The focus was just to protest and shut the government down. That was their goal. Well, they've accomplished their goal. Their plan was to shut the government down. They just didn't have a plan to restart it again. So we have to have 60 votes to be able to do this. We have 55 right now. We need 5 more Democrats to be able to walk over and say, I'm not going to shut down benefits for SNAP. I'm not going to close down Head Start. I'm not going to not pay federal workers that are working every day. I'm not going to shut down the airports and air traffic control. That they actually say, okay, I can say out loud that I don't like President Trump. At the same time, I can actually have the government open. Fine. They want to be able to say that. It's not where the American people are. But if they want to say that, they can say that. But let's stop punishing people.
Yeah, well, Senator Thune might be optimistic, Senator. I mean, Mike Johnson just seems to be over it. He's done. Take a listen to this.
Democrats are eating up the clock. We have very important work to do here, and that's why we're pleading with them, not Chuck Schumer. Look, I think Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are irredeemable at this point. I don't think they'll be able to tell Mondami in New York and his disciples that they voted to open the government. I've given up on the leadership. So we're trying to appeal to a handful of moderates or centrists who care more about the American people and will put the people's interests over their own.
I get that frustration, and he seems to be basically like, look, Zohran Mamdani's running this party now, not Hakeem Jeffries or Chuck Schumer.
Yep, there's a lot of talk right now. What are Democrats actually looking for? We think at this point they're looking to try to get past the election next Tuesday, that they want to try to help Mondami win, and they want to show that, hey, we're opposing the president like you are, that this is some kind of push to be able to help Mondami or to be able to try to help their governor's races in Louisiana and New Jersey, because we can't make sense of anything else that they're trying to do. So apparently they're trying to keep the government closed down past that election time period so they can show their unity with Mondami. Listen, that's just not where the American people are. I actually have a bill that prevents government shutdowns from ever happening again. We had 57 votes for that last session. We're talking when Republicans were in the minority, Republicans voted to say we'll never have a government shutdown again. At that time, Democrats on the whole opposed it, with only a handful joining Republicans to be able to do that, because all along their focus is how can they shut down the government to have this kind of protest.